Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name is Effie. If you're not new, welcome back. It has been about a year and 4 months since I've posted anything on this channel, and even longer since I've talked about books. So today I'm going to be doing a book review, which I literally haven't done in about 3 years. I'm not going to delay this anymore, so let's just get started. The book I'm going to be reviewing today is All This Time by Miki Daughtry and Rachel Lippincott. Now I'm going to be honest, there are going to be spoilers in this video, so if you don't want to be spoiled, it's okay if you click away. I hope that you have a great day and great life. So, okay. For those who stayed, I read this book and I thought that it was so incredibly boring that if I were to talk about it, I can't help but spoil it. Because even though the spoilers aren't that interesting, it's better than just talking about, oh, there was a person and a person and they fought. So, let's just get started. So again, there will be spoilers. If you don't want to be spoiled, this is your last chance to click away. Okay, cool. So I got my notes, I got my tea, I'm ready. So Kyle and Kimberly they're not the main characters. Kyle is the main character, but they've been dating for presumably 75% of high school, and they plan on going to the same college together. Prior to the story's start, though, Kyle was a high school athlete, and he played football and got injured so bad that his plan of going to, I think, UCLA in this story, his plan of going to UCLA to pursue football further is no longer viable. So he was already depressed, and him and Kimberly, they planned to go to the same college together. The whole time, Kimberly was actually lying, and even though she told him, yeah, like, I'm going, I got my dorm assignment, whatever it was, she lied to him the entire time, and the story starts with her telling him the truth. And they get into an argument and into a car accident. Of course, because it's stormy out, very predictable. But they do get into a car accident and Kimberly dies, and already depressed Kyle now has to try and figure out how to move forward without the love of his life. Granted, they were in high school going into college, so everybody's perception of love at that time is different. To Kyle at this point in his life, I guess Kimberly was the one, regardless of age. So Kimberly dies, Kyle is upset. After the funeral and everything, he goes to visit her grave. And up until this point, he had no idea how he was going to move on. And then he meets Marley. And they talk and they hang out and they connect. And Kyle is like, Kimberly just died, I cannot catch a feeling, I need to stop talking to this person. And 2 chapters later, they're dating. So, they're hooking up, they're dating, they're hanging out, they're connecting. Fast forward a year of their relationship, and something happens, and Kyle blacks out. And he wakes up in a hospital where everybody is telling him, you were in a coma for 8 weeks, and everything that you dreamt up wasn't real. So that includes Kimberly dying, that includes Marley existing, but he is so convinced that Marley is real. So he tries to find the real Marley in real life. So let's get into my qualms, because I have a couple. Characters, very boring. Very, very, very forgettable. Kyle's only personality trait is that his girlfriend died and that he was sad. And there was really no further digging into his character and his other decisions, like, will he still go to college? Will he, still do what makes him happy kind of thing? Because even though the coma and the whole life that he had dreamt up with him and Marley was not real, there was still a lot of things that could have been discussed. So that made his character very boring. Marley's only personality trait is that she wears the color yellow. And Kimberly, we see 2 chapters of. Maybe 4 in total. And then Kyle's best friend, who I can't remember the name of, is the only good, solid character, because he tells it like it is. And Kyle is so selfish, that he thinks that he's the only one that lost someone. And his best friend is like, dude, I lost someone too. And kind of like puts him in his place. Which I really enjoyed, because even if it was in a coma, Kyle still needed that grounding, and because he wasn't really giving in to being grounded like that, it made him so boring. Not unlikable, just forgettable. That's all. Let's see. So there's a bit after Kyle wakes up from his coma and he thinks that he wants to find Marley. I'm gonna sneeze. There's a bit where Kyle wants to find the real Marley in the hospital, right? And his way of trying to find this person is by escaping the hospital. And I'm sure that people escape hospitals all the time. But in reality, a hospital would be on lockdown or have severe, heavy security trying to find this person. Nope, Kyle was gone for 8-10 hours and no one noticed until the next morning. Even though because he just woke up from a coma, they would probably be poking and prodding at him for hours. So, call it what you will, but it's unrealistic. And the pace of everything kind of just makes it so easy to predict what's happening. I think that's my main problem with this book, is that everything is so predictable. And it doesn't mean that it's written poorly. It was just kind of boring. And I feel like also because there are two authors, it makes it so hard to make everything flow together. Even if there's one person saying the ideas and the other person is writing them down, it's very hard to make one person's brain and another person's brain connect and flow like that. And writing books is already hard as is, so I'm not bashing the authors, because it was definitely fun. Obviously it wasn't bad, or I wouldn't have been able to finish it. But again, I just felt like there were a lot of things that could have been done better. See, I don't think that plot twist should be made to confuse your reader. I just feel like if it's too predictable, there's certain ways to write plot twists. You know, if like as an example, the whole thing was a lie, right? The whole thing was a lie. Or a dream, rather. It wasn't a lie. The whole thing was a dream. But with things like that, the whole point is that the author is supposed to make the readers feel like it's real. And not question, something's off here. What is it? What's off? And they did not do that with this book. And that's another thing. There are just so many things that I just didn't like about it. Like about the story itself. So, fast forward, Kyle does find the real Marley. As it turns out, she was in the hospital the whole time. And it made sense, because originally the doctors had given him a whole list of reasons as to why his dream was not real. Because, she smells like jasmine because there are jasmine flowers outside your hospital room window. And he was so keen on finding her, and he did find her, and I think that is the most interesting thing about our main character, is that he was so determined, despite everyone telling him, yo dude, I don't want to say that you're crazy, but you're crazy. But yeah, I don't know. And then after he finds Marley, keep in mind, prior to this, he never met Marley in real life. Ever. And he has this image of her in his brain of what he imagined over the course of what felt like for him a year. And he breaks up with Kimberly because, by the way, she's not dead. She's alive. And she's like, oh my god, I'm so glad that you're okay. I was so worried. And he's like, I fell in love with someone that I made up. Or someone that everybody thinks I made up. And there's nothing notable about Marley. I'm not saying every person has to be main character material, even if they are the main character. But he broke up with his girlfriend that he was so in love with, and it was so hard for him to move on, that he replaced his girlfriend with a version of someone that he made up and never actually met. And I just really didn't like that. I thought that was kind of dumb. I thought that he should have worked on himself. The one thing I did like, though, was that Kyle's best friend during the coma dream that we all thought was real, was that he laid it like it is. Kyle, when he thought that Kimberly had died, it was all about him. It was all about how he's the only person who is allowed to feel a feeling. Okay, so Kyle as a character, when he thought that Kimberly was dead, he really only felt like he was the only person allowed to feel anything, and his best friend grounded him and said, "You need to shut the hell up." Kimberly was still someone's daughter, friend, so on and so forth. And that was really the only thing that I liked about this entire book, and I really don't have any other thoughts on this one. Was it fun? Yes. Was it cute? Kind of. Would I read it again? Definitely not. I will probably be selling it after this video goes up. But yeah, I mean, nothing against the authors or anything, and I did read it in 2 days, so granted it couldn't have been that bad, but it was bad enough. Hi. So I can't really completely bash this because obviously I did read it and I liked it enough to keep reading it, but the whole rating as a whole is going to have to be a 5 out of 10 because the best friend of Kyle made up for a lot of the boringness of the other characters. The cover's pretty. Other than that, that's really all I got. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope to have another video up next week, hopefully with a book that I actually enjoyed, because this one was not it. It's like the only redeeming quality about the whole thing. Even though him kind of telling Kyle off, the whole thing of that part of the story was the most realistic thing about the entire story. The whole pace of the coma dream felt too unreal for me to believe it. So when it was revealed that it was actually him in a coma, it was so unsurprising. I guess that's a good word to describe this book because it wasn't bad, it wasn't good, it was just unsurprising. All the details in between I don't really remember, so... but yeah, overall, was it cute? Yes. Was it great? No. Would I read it again? Definitely not. I will most likely be selling it afterwards. So, with that said, I hope that you all have a lovely day, lovely week, and I will see you next week. Bye!